Hello, my name is Berg Friel, and today I will be talking about the Olympic National Park. The Olympic National Park is located in Port Angeles, Washington, on the Olympic Peninsula, which is about 100 miles drive from Seattle, Washington. Some history about the park. The early tribes of the Olympic Peninsula are as listed. In 1890, naturalist John Muir, Washington Congressman James Wickersham, and Lieutenant Joseph O'Neill led the first documented exploration of the peninsula and proposed the creation of the national park. In 1897, President Grover Cleveland gave the park its first national designation as Olympic Forest Reserve. In 1909, President Teddy Roosevelt designated part of the reserve as Mount Olympus National Monument. In 1938, President Franklin Roosevelt signed the act designating Olympic National Park. So how did the park form? About 34 million years ago, the two tectonic plates collided and turned the former coastline into the massive mountains we have today. They are the North American Plate and the Juan de Fuca Plate. When the collision occurred, the basalts and sedimentary rocks that were under the water from the years of underwater volcano eruption uplifted and created the mountains we see today. The reason we know that there was volcanic eruptions before the mountains formed is because the mountains eroded and exposed the basalts and sedimentary rocks. The Juan de Fuca Plate is still being forced under the North American Plate to this day and is still changing the landscape. The reason we know that there was volcanic activity is from the basalts. Basalts are rocks that are dark in color and are very rich in iron and magnesium. They form from quick cooling of the lava. So when the mountains exposed the basalts, we could tell that before the uplift there was volcanic activity. Here's a picture of just what basalt rocks look like. So what are tectonic plates and sedimentary rocks? Tectonic plates are really big formations underground. These formations are on the outermost layer of the Earth, the lithosphere. They sit on a partially molten layer of rock called the asthenosphere. Due to convection currents, which are currents made from heat transfer in the asthenosphere and lithosphere, these plates move. Tectonic plates have been moving for as far back as 2.5 billion years. So when the Juan de Fuca Plate collided with the North American Plate, it created a subduction zone, which is when one of the plates hits another plate and it pushed underneath the other plate. So in this case, the Juan de Fuca Plate got pushed underneath the North American Plate. Sedimentary rocks are rocks that have been formed by previous rock pieces or once living organisms. Sedimentary rocks often have layering and bedding that can be seen on the rocks. This is an example of a sedimentary rock. The glaciers of the park. First, how does a glacier form? With the altitudes of the peaks so high, it is cold for most of the months. This creates snow caps, and as the snow keeps falling and creating new snow, the old snow compresses and becomes ice. These glaciers are not permanent, however. Over time, the water molecules move through the cracks and makes the glaciers move around and shift. Some are melting faster than they can be replenished with new snow. With the world's climate increasing, the glaciers are not being able to replenish with new snow. Since about 1900, the peninsula has lost about half of its glacier area. Since 1980, 35 glaciers and 16 perennial snowfields have disappeared. With the glaciers melting and climate heating up, the ecosystems are being impacted. The food webs are being negatively impacted by climate change. Along with the ecosystems being impacted, the melting can cause disasters, like flooding. As temperatures warm and glaciers melt, they will soon all be gone. They are expected to be completely gone by the year 2070. So if you ever wanted to see these beautiful glaciers, the time is now to go. Some of the more popular glaciers are the Anderson Glacier, the Hohe Glacier, the Carey Glacier, the Humes Glacier, the Hubbard Glacier, and the Eel Glacier. Some of these glaciers can be seen from the Hurricane Ridge, shown here. Olympic National Park is a beautiful park, with many trails to explore and many miles to walk. With the experience I have had, I would highly recommend it for anyone that likes to go on hikes and likes the outdoors. This park is history, and we need to respect what is in it in the park, and all of the animals in it as well.